Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be going ahead and assembling the engine, putting everything back together. It's looking good so far. I got to clean off the intake ports, make sure everything's nice and clean before I put new gaskets and put the intake back on, but it's going well. No real issues so far. I'll let you guys know if I do have any issues. But whenever you guys are resealing the engine, make sure everything's nice and clean, guys, because the last thing you want to do is put everything brand new back on, nice and painted, powder coated, everything's nice and clean, and then for some reason the freaking water jacket leaks, and then you have to do it all over again, and then everything's gonna get re-messed up. And you don't want to do that, because then you're gonna have to repaint everything, re-powder coat everything, all the bolts get scratched, everything gets messed up. So try to do it right the first time so it doesn't happen to you. Even if you're working on customers' cars, you never want to do it twice. So just take the time to prep everything as best as you can, and you don't have any issues. All right, let's get going. The first thing I do is I go use my scraper and scrape off all the big stuff, because the gasket material will kind of get stuck to the ports. Before I do that though, I always fill in the ports with some rags, try to cover everything up, because all the little debris and stuff, you don't want it to get inside the engine. So you try to minimize that as much as you can, just by protecting the ports. I put some rags in there, and I make sure you take them out though, because if you put the intake on and then you start the car, it'll shoot out through the exhaust. It's not gonna damage anything, but I've had it happen, and when it first happened, it worried the heck out of me, and nothing happened luckily. But anyways, scrape everything off, and then what I like to do after that, I'll use some sandpaper. I'll use sandpaper just to get the rest of the stuff off and make it nice and clean, like super clean. And that's what I'm doing now, is just kind of finishing up everything with the sandpaper. Then I go ahead and just brake clean the entire area one more time, make it nice and clean, nice and dry. I like to run my rubber gloves across the face of the ports, make sure that it's dragging. When it's dragging, I know it's nice and clean, it's ready for reassembly. Do the same exact thing to the intake. The intake, luckily I sandblasted, it's over there. It's over there chilling. I went ahead and sandblasted it, and I blasted the ports, so it's nice and clean and ready to go. But if you're just removing it, intake, and putting it back on, you got to make sure the intake's nice and clean as well, so all the gasket material will seat properly. So let's keep it going. Let's keep cleaning. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and I didn't get everything off, unfortunately, so I'm gonna go ahead and start getting everything off with my sander, and it just has a soft pad on there. This doesn't gouge the aluminum, which is very important. Make sure you guys use like a scuffing pad, not an actual grinding pad. Okay, there's a difference. And yeah, just go around it, clean everything off as best you can, and then just finish it off with some brake clean and a rag. All right, we got the intake on. Working on the timing chain cover now. It's coming along. Looking good so far. Good news, ladies and gentlemen. So we got a lot of the engine together. We still have to put the valve covers on. I was thinking of going ahead and powder coating the valve covers a different color, but I kind of dig the look. I really enjoy the way it looks. I wonder what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section if I should paint them. But I think I'm gonna go with, I don't know yet. I haven't bolted them down because I haven't decided yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put everything else on, and those will probably be the last thing I do. But anyways, it's looking good. Way different than before. It's just cleaner. It's brand new, new paint, new gaskets everywhere. I still have to do the exhaust. I have to take it off yet, still. But I just wanted to kind of get the engine together, give me more motivation. One thing you guys have to remember whenever you're doing a build like this is you want to stay motivated, and you want to keep the momentum going, obviously, by keep the work going. But the way you keep the momentum going is by staying motivated. And the way that you stay motivated is by putting on things, doing things, like consistently doing things. Even if it's like not even bolted on, just kind of put it on there. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, and it releases that dopamine that you need to keep going. And that's the main thing that I want to make sure that you guys understand, is that whenever you're doing a project like this, you have to stay motivated to keep the momentum going until you're done. The only way to do that is by bolting things on, finishing things, painting them, do whatever. But the best way is to put it on the car. You know what I'm saying? Like the alternator isn't on yet. You know what I'm saying? But at least I put it there so I can see more progress, and that keeps my brain wanting more progress. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of start putting more stuff on here, probably the suspension stuff. I gotta clean that off and then put it on. And yeah, keep going. So anyways, little update for you guys. Let's keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys. I think I am gonna go with the chrome. Just looks so good, man. Looks too good. Look at that. I hope the air filter is gonna cover the. I mean, the hood's gonna cover the air filter. I don't want to put the hood down because of the paper or whatever, but it's looking good, man. It's looking good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go home and recharge for tomorrow. But I got pretty far. It's crazy, man. A lot of people think that building these old cars is easy because there's so much space. Oh, look at all the space. Yeah, you can get in there with anything. Bro, you understand? People don't understand because they've never actually done this. And if you are telling me that it's easier to work on these cars than it is a new car, you're crazy. Because the reason why it's harder, guys, it's not harder. It's more time consuming. So you have to paint if you're doing this type of work, you have to paint every bolt before you put it on. And you have to be careful to not scratch the bolt before you put it on. So it's actually more difficult to do it like this because you have to do a lot more careful, tedious stuff to get it all together. Obviously, if I was only just taking it apart and putting it back together, it would take me a day, half a day, maybe that. Not even half a day, probably like 3 hours to do it all. But I want to make sure it looks amazing when I put it back together. So that's where the tediousness comes from. So if you guys are wanting to do this, understand that there is a little bit of work that goes into it. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and you do have to have a lot of patience. It has to be almost meditating for you. And that's kind of what it is for me. I just put on a podcast, or sometimes I don't even put on a podcast. I just don't put anything on, not even music. And I'll just work, and it's very meditative because it's just tedious shit. So it becomes very, very meditative. So anyways, that's one thing I wanted to point out for you guys. If you guys are wondering, why didn't you finish it by Saturday? Mainly because of that. And because I got other stuff going on. Like I wake up, I work out, I do my thing, and I get to the shop like at 11 or 12. Then I work till like 7 or 8. And then I go do other stuff. I go on dates and whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I mean. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm making content for you guys on a daily basis now. I want to make content for you guys on a daily basis. This is what I'm doing on a daily basis now. It's just building my cars as like my hobby, and my new business or whatever. But it's more of a hobby more than anything, to be honest with you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. If you made it this far, let me know you made it this far. I would really appreciate that too. And also, make sure you guys go to automechanicclub.com. I know, guys, the websites are all down. I'm working on everything. Right now, my focus is to finish this car. Because when you have momentum when it comes to this stuff, you do not want to stop. Especially me, I'm the type of momentum person. I like to start and then end it when the stuff is done, right? I don't want to stop. If I do, I won't get back on it, or it'll take me a little while to get back on it. So, unfortunately, everything's on the back burner. I finished up the red Mustang. This was the next big project to finish. After I get this done, this thing's got to go to paint. My gray one's got to go to paint. I need to do like a few things on it, probably like a day worth of work. Then it's got to go off to paint. So, after that, I'll be probably, hopefully next week, I'll have all the time in the world to be able to make more content based on the tool review stuff, based on the business stuff, and then we'll keep doing the Mustang builds, obviously. But next week, I'll have a lot of time to be able to make all the content that I want to make for you guys. And I'll be able to fix the website, do the newsletter. I'll catch up on all the back-end side business work. My YouTube, you guys, I want to build a community first. But YouTube is my side hustle. It's always been my side hustle because I really enjoy doing it. But unfortunately, it always takes the back seat when it comes to other stuff that I got going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button if you did. Really nice seeing you guys again. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll get this bad boy up and running, back on the road. I'll see you guys soon.
Hi guys, today I'm talking about this racket. Yeah, see this guy?
Think that again. Just fuck around, move around.
It's toe time! Toe time!